Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix for the IRT team event. I'm joined here by Stepan.
Steban works as well, but anyway, cheers for doing the intro, but I'll just quickly take it over from here. Welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully everyone is good. I'm joined today by Evora Dooney, right? Yeah?
Yes, Donny.
Yes, he has done commentary before, so we're glad to have him part of the commentary box, as Nolan hasn't unfortunately made it today, but we're glad to have him. So as we're looking so far, it's a dry qualifying. This the 18-minute qualifying session. Today, of course,
Yep.
we are around Japan for the 7th round, I'm pretty sure. Let me check the calendar. Indeed, the 7th round of the championship. After a very exciting race last time out around USA, which saw Relentless take another win with rain coming at the end, but with some guys staying out in the rain period, but proving it was too wet for some guys, and Wudos felt really back. So it's quite unfortunate, but we're looking forward to this race. How are you doing anyway, Donny?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm just excited to see what this race holds. Japan is a very complicated track, so I can't wait to see how the drivers handle the pressure of this track. And yeah.
Indeed, indeed. It's quite a tough track, especially for the controller users, as the curbs are quite tough and it's quite low grip around this circuit. So I'm pretty sure I did the title wrong again. So let me quickly change that. I do apologize for that once again. So let me quickly change the stream title, as it's not correct right now. But that's fine. That's fine, as long as you can hear our audio, it's completely fine. But anyway, we're here for the 7th round of the championship. But if you're now quickly gonna go over to the standings after round 6, of course, the round 6 standings haven't been released quite yet, but we do have the points total. So we have Relentless in the lead with 175 points, ahead of NRL Wolves got 75 points. Only 2 points behind them are LFR, and then you've got quite a gap to BNRE, who've got 56 points, and CPI have got 46 points, DRA 43, ESW has got 32 points, and then IRT 26 points, Evora 26, and SLX actually had 15 points, but they actually merged with Evora, so we actually have 9 teams so far now in the competition, after we had only 1 week with a full grid. So not ideal, but that's the way it is. Teams of course can do whatever they want to at the end of the day, so with teams merging, it's always kind of glad to see with teams generally just surviving at the end of the day, because of course we saw a couple of weeks ago that IFR has unfortunately ended.
Disbanded, yeah.
Yeah, so
What
I
I found out right was IFL actually did a lot of merging with what is it, Talent Factory. I find it very peculiar, but it's good for them anyway.
indeed, because some of their drives of course have moved to TFR, or whatever the competition was named, or whatever the team is, TF. But yeah, so quite a little. I know Rudy has moved to there, and so quite a lot of drivers have moved to that team now. So, but anyway, let's focus now on Japan, as a lot of people have started their laps on board with Binarel Stevens coming to the final corner. I don't think this. Well, let's see what lap he has done coming out of the final corner. He does a
And it's a
28.8. So that's alright time so far. I think people can go faster, since I think these times are usually done in the beginning of the game. But of course, during...
and Relentless Barone goes P1 with a 28.2. Not a
so
bad
indeed,
banker.
6 tenths ahead of Stevens. So that's more representative times right now.
who do you think is going to get pole today?
I mean, Relentless have been very strong, but I do know Ruti Gullit has been very good in qualifying as well. So I'm gonna back Ruti Gullit for pole position with both Relentless drive. Also, we got a spinner actually. I'm pretty sure we saw a spinner in the assets. Indeed,
Oh
it's Pa
no,
Purka.
CPI.
It's indeed CPI, the
Um,
CPI driver
yeah,
Pa Purka, and another driver off track there. I think that's the BNRL team. Luca Lower. No, he's in the pit, so it must be. No, it's not Stevens. I'm not sure who that was. It could be. Oh, it's a Pa Purka gone off again. Indeed, he has. 2 spins now in deck 1. So it's been an atrocious qualifying so far for Pa Purka, proving that the
his
Japanese circuit is
tires,
really tough.
his tires must be finished, mate. Literally,
Oh,
the amount of times he spun.
chat's gone.
Yeah.
I'm struggling a bit. That's not ideal. Let me turn on chat once again. This is not ideal. Do apologize, guys, for the inconvenience so far. Let me quickly change that setting. I don't know why it's done that. There you go. Pretty sure
A lot of people are setting banker like very slow lap times. I wonder if they're going for like a semi like slow lap and then going for another lap just to prep the tires or something.
Indeed,
Or maybe they
indeed.
just made a mistake. Yeah.
Indeed, I can definitely understand because, guys, if you just do a just a bank lap before, you're just generally gonna have more confidence of the final run, because then you know you can improve and you know if you've done a lap before, so you can generally just improve from that and build up the confidence during the races or during the qualifying session. So actually, as we're watching right now, we are seeing quite a lot of guys on the medium tires, because we are Urpek, Tim, Pyro all on the medium tires. So there are we seeing an alternative strategy here from some drivers, which is going to be interesting because of course we don't know what the race will pan out like. Will it rain? But from the moment, I think it will stay dry. Because otherwise guys will not qualify on mediums, of course.
Yeah, that's a great shout. I feel like the mediums would be the better strategy for this track, as it's like a very aggressive track with the tires. So I feel like a track with Japan, I feel like the mediums is the tire you need to be on
Indeed,
if you want to have a great race.
Indeed. Also, you have 10 minutes left of this qualifying session. Only 13 people have posted laps, as Marty, Rust UK, Seep and Lucalor have not posted a lap just yet. But on board with Lucalor right now, going to turn 1 around this Japanese circuit. Going towards the S section right now. Very tough corner. You don't want to hit the inside curb there, or the car will spin out into the wall there. Happened to me plenty of times in many league races. But he's taking it alright. I think he's taking it very careful right now, as he doesn't want to spin out. As he did miss some apex here. Going to Deckner 1 and now Deckner 2. Also a very tough corner to get right. Very difficult for track limits to get right. So drivers have to be aware of that. Not to get too many warnings. Of course, if you get 3 warnings, then you will get a 3-second penalty, which can hurt you, especially if there's a safety car in the race. And with the guys who have not got penalties, they can really benefit from that. So let's see how the race is gonna pan out with invalidations as well in qualifying sessions. As Lucalor has done a 13-2 middle sector.
Going into 130R.
Not the fastest, indeed, just past 130R right now. Quite a messy lap so far. Not taking the short line to the line, and he does a 130.1.
130.
Like we saw, not the greatest lap there from Lucalor, but maybe he's just done a slower lap, and then building up the confidence throughout this qualifying session. But you never know. is now on board with Mark here. I think he just might have finished his lap just now, but let's see what his first sector is on this lap. It is 3/10 quick already,
Yeah.
which is purple, but let's see how he does the middle sector. Just past the Deckner 1 and 2 so far, going to the hairpin. Very difficult corner to get right, as you can lose the car here on the left here, but he's taking it quite well so far. A couple of cars, or one car ahead, which is I think an IRT car. But Mark is doing quite well so far, around through Spoon Curb right now.
Now getting ready for 130R. He's going flat out into this corner, trying to get the best exit possible to hit the breaking point.
He's just above 4/10 up on his time, which will bring him around JR and his teammate Jeroen. But how can he nail the final sector? He's done quite well going to the line right now. It will be a 28.3,
and it's a
just behind
128.3.
JR. 3,000 of 2,000 of JR there, but that's a decent time there for Mark, and still some time to gain for their final runs after there's still 7 minutes left of this qualifying session. But that's a decent time there for Mark. Again, just showing relentless dominance here in the IRT event, as they're 100 points ahead of NRL. But NRL have gained some momentum, as Urpec took the win in Baku and did quite well in USA, as we've got one retirement of Paapurka. I think he lost in Sector 1.
Gosh.
On board with Tim right now. He's on the right hand side and lost his suspension, which is not ideal. On board with Tim actually right now, taking loads of curbs here, as we just missed Seep going into P6, so good job from him.
The Avora driver going quite aggressive into the first few corners, now going into the long sweeping right-handed corner, now into the breaking point. Let's see what he can do for this lap.
Indeed, he was really aggressive in the assets, but it proved to be working out, as he was 2.5 tenths up and still pushing onwards. Those 2/10 will get him close to around P5.
Goes further, P1
has gone, or Kispasi Victor has gone fastest here. 2/10 quicker than Jeroen, but I'm certain Jeroen has got a response for that one. About 2/10 ahead, so good time there.
I think track evolution will play a big factor in this.
Agreed.
In this qualifying.
Tim on board with Timbra. He is 6 tenths up, so that will bring him close to the time of Victor, as he is very aggressive in the final turn. Pyro in P2 right now with a 28.1, so the grid proving to be very close. Tim to the line with a 27.8. Grabs pole position with 5 minutes to go, so great time there for the Evora driver.
Great lap, but we should keep an eye on Urpec, because Urpec, I feel like he can still pole right here. He's 1/10 up in Sector 1, but I do think he may have pace for pole. So keep an eye on him.
Oh, he's spun actually.
He to lose it. He loses it on the curb. It just proves how hard it is around Japan. Yeah, just one little mistake and you've lost it. So you have to focus around this track.
Indeed, just how tough Spoon Corner is, and if you just clip the inside curb too much, then your car will unsettle, like what happened at Urpec. I'm pretty sure he just did a... no, he didn't do it right. I think he just did a Schumacher in 2011 or 2012. Just hit the inside curb and just lost the car. Actually, it was Perez in 2013 who did the exact same moment there. So, proving that F1 drivers do the exact same as league racers. So, the guys who are in the session right now, just the game is pretty realistic at some point. But let's see, with only 3.5 minutes not to go of this qualifying session, we're on board with Ruud Gullit right now, about 4 tenths up. He is on his final run of this qualifying session, on a decent lap so far with a 28.1, which will bring him.
That will bring him up to third. Not a bad lap from Him. What a decent lap.
Apologies there for cutting outside. Indeed, a very decent lap there from Ruud Gullit. Won't bring in pole position, but he has done quite well, Ruud Gullit, in P3. But I'm certain that guys behind him will find some time. With JR on his outlap right now, going out quite early. Mark just ahead of him in the middle sector, also going for his final run. Siep now going out for his final run. Also, we've got Rust UK in the wall, so he won't definitely improve again. As I'm certain he got damage. Actually, it looks to be fine, but if he has got enough fuel for a second one, then he definitely can go for it. Both DRA drivers down in 13th and 14th, so not an ideal qualifying for them. As actually in mid-table, I think. I'm pretty sure.
And Ruud Gullit has spun. He has spun.
With again the Senna helmet we're seeing. But if we check DRA now, they're only 3 points behind CPI, and CPI are in, I'm pretty sure CPI are actually in P11 and P4, so this is not ideal for DRA, as they of course want to move ahead of CPI, but with Pyro being high up and Pyrka in P11 still, this is not ideal for them. But we do know Pyro as a great qualifier, but can he finish the race? That's his main mission for him, as he does like to crash out in the race. I've seen that plenty of times as a IRT driver where he just crashed out from a high place. So let's see. As has actually been always on an outlap. Never mind. But let's see how Pyro will do for this race. Let's wish him the best. Of course.
Exactly.
As of some drivers start their laps now with JR going to Sector 1 right now. The ESW driver here is doing quite well with 10.5 up right now after Sector 1. Very decent time there. Taking the lines quite well here. JR doing very well. Proved to be a very quick driver here in this competition. Can he score the points now? Can he get a podium potentially? He was one of the drivers who actually stayed out last week in the rain, hoping for a win, but that definitely backfired after a couple of laps time, which is a shame. But here we are once again. Also got some yellow flags on track, probably for cars slowing, but JR taking Duke Spoon corner quite well, going to 130 up, about 2/10 up. Which will bring him around P3 at the moment. Taking the final couple of corners very well. Taking the shoulders line.
Short line.
And he goes P5. So proving not enough time to move ahead of Ruud Gullit. But P5 is still not a bad place to be on the grid. But we still have Jeroen, Mark, Urpek, Siep still on the lap. And don't forget Nipro Racing as well. He is still on a lap as well. Can he move ahead of those guys as well? Can he find the 2/10 he needs to move ahead of Ruud Gullit, Pyro and JR? Jeroen just behind him as well. On his lap right now. Past Spoon Curb. Siep has moved up to P8.
Tim has spun in Sector 2. Sector 1 is it? I think it's Sector 1. But he's spun.
He will definitely improve. But in both with Jeroen, he's about 4/10 nearly up. So this will bring him near pole position as he loses the car nearly.
Oh no!
Nipro
Can
up
the
to P3.
Still get pole?
Can he get pole position? And he will be P2.
P2.
19 thousandths off.
1,000th of a second.
What a time there! So close, proving that Tim's second one was just quick enough to beat Jeroen there, but there's still a very good place to be, P2. But JR is still on the lap. Didn't improve. That's Urpek with pole position. Urpek with pole position here. Another 27.8 here. 12 thousandths ahead of Tim. Tim must be kicking himself after not able to complete the final run. But what a lap there. Victor after P, I think didn't improve, I'm pretty sure, but in P5. Pyro improved to P4, so he did very well there. With a 27.9, especially him being on the controller, I'm pretty sure. So great job there from Pyro. Ruud Gullit didn't complete his final run, so stays in P7. JR made a mistake as well, so in P8. Siep just behind him, and Mark couldn't improve his time as well in P10. Parperka 11th, Stevens P12, Rust UK and Job Lammers for DRA in P13 and 14. Didn't move down any more places. Marty P15, so quite an unlucky qualifying for him. Luca Lohr in P16, couple of still a second off the pace compared to Mark, who was in P10. So the guys at the back really are struggling. Ivor, Brian Mike with a 20.9 couldn't get a final run, and then we had Arakov joining the session later because he was home late, so couldn't set a qualifying lap, but he will be here for the race, so excited for that. See how much he can move up here. But as you can see, the qualifying session is now complete with Urpek on pole position, just showing the momentum NRL is building for this race and the event in general. 12,000 ahead of Tim. I'm not sure in which team Tim is, but let me check it after. Jeroen in P3 for Relentless. Evora driver in P2, so they can definitely use the points. Jeroen, of course, in P3 for Relentless. CPI Pyro in P4. Victor P5. Nipro Racing in P6. Rutgele P7. Still decent time there for not being able to complete the final run. JR P8. CP9. Mark P10, and then the first guy on the alternate strategy will be Pa Purka, who retired mid-qualifying session, but still on P11, so it's not a bad position to be in. We'll see you guys for the race.
Now, who do you have your money on winning this race? I feel like Urpek has a good chance, but I feel like the Relentless drivers do have the pace to be front runners, so who do you think is going to win this race?
I mean, my last predictions have definitely been off so far. An easy bet would be, of course, Relentless, as they're 100 points ahead in the standings. But you never know. You can never count out anyone in this event. But let's go for... I think I'm going to go with Tim. Tim looked quite quick. And without him able to set his final run, I think he's got some pace in the back, so I think it will be Tim with the win, then with Jeroen and Urpek following close behind, completing the top 3 here. Of course, it's not a bad track to get a podium on at all, Japan, but let's see.
I think...
What do you think indeed? Let me know.
I think it may be Urpek first, one of the Relentless drivers, and Pyro in third. I'm going for bold.
You're going for Pyro. Pyro, can he finish the race? That's of course the main goal. IRT driver, old IRT driver, of course, used to crashing out. So God bless him. He can finish the race. Bless you, Pyro. Hope you finish the race, man. You got this. But of course, with Jeroen ahead of him, he's proved to be a very just consistent driver. So I expect him to be around the win, of course. Urpek just was really dominant around Baku. But of course, this is a very different circuit than Baku. So can he prove the same pace he had in Baku? If he does, then it could be a very dominant win for NRL. But Tim proved to be quite quick as well, so I'm backing him, of course, for the win. But don't rule out the medium runners on the, of course, the alternate strategy. Let me quickly get the tires up now on screen. No wrong detail. Tires. We actually have quite a lot of guys on the soft tires outside the top 10, with Rust UK and Job Lammers both on the soft tires, same as Marty and Ivor Mike. But Adakov, Luca Lohr, Stevens and Paperka all have gone for a set of mediums. I think this race will be quite an easy one stop here, with a soft hard or medium hard proving to be the great strategy. But let's see.
Let's see indeed. As the drivers are warming up their tires, preparing for lights out. This is proven to look like to be a very exciting race, so let's hope it delivers.
Yeah, indeed. Let's see, as the drivers now coming towards their starting positions, with Urbeck was leading the grid with Tim in second. Guys now going really slow here in the last turn. And then I'm not sure why, but let's see. So
I
now
think
the
they're trying to
cars.
like keep their tire temperatures as high as possible. I don't
Indeed,
think it
indeed.
works on the game though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when your car takes over, the tire temps will stay the same. As we're now
Yeah.
all ready for the start of this Grand Prix. Here.
One red light, two red light, three light right, 4, 5, and it's lights out and away we go. Urbeck gets a great start, but along with Tim going sideways, side by side, but Urbeck staying in the lead.
As we had one driver staying on the grid, which was Pyro. Pyro not getting away from the grid. Not sure what happened to him. But not ideal start for him, as Urbeck keeps the lead ahead of Tim and Jeroen and Victor. But not sure what happened there. But let's see what happens now with a good start from Urbeck. Here, as we're now expecting a quite big DRS train for a couple of laps.
Exactly.
Apparently,
just takes one mistake though.
From what we saw in the chat, apparently Pyro had that light went out later for him. As we got Rust UK crashing out in the after a hairpin, so not ideal for him. He doesn't have damage, I'm pretty sure. No, he doesn't, but this does bring him to the back of the grid. Behind Pyro, who's close enough to the back of the field already. So good job from him. Of course, after a glitch, which we're used to, glitches.
Yellow flag.
Rust UK again, just going very slowly. Also now completing lap 1 here. With Urbeck still in the lead. Only 3/10 of Tim. We won't show the telemetry, as then engineers can use that data to defend against Urbeck. Went really wide there. Urbeck or Tim following close behind. Jeroen just watching those guys behind and just waiting for the moment to pounce here. Also we've got Stevens on the mediums within the top 10, overtook Parapurka. One dropping nearly a second behind Sieb. Also we got Lucador spinning into the wall on the mediums.
Gosh.
And again, no
I think
damage.
That's just ruined his race.
Indeed. No damage shown on screen, but he did hit the wall. As he's nearly hit Rust UK, rejoining quite dangerous, as Marty has spun as well. Not sure what's happened.
Marty, the IRT driver, just losing to just track. It's just proven lap by lap that it's very difficult just to get right. With the IRT driver just getting it all wrong into that corner.
Indeed. Just very tough track there. Adakov nearly running wide. Actually, he is running on a stock setup, so we have to be aware of that. Of course, he joined late and he forgot to load in the setup.
For a move on Urbeck, but Urbeck defends into 130R. Now, is Tim gonna line him up for the straight?
Tim is very close indeed, using a bit of ERS here, but very close behind Urbeck here.
Ooh.
The gap is very close. Jeroen staying 6 tenths behind. He doesn't want to be involved just yet, but Tim proving to have great pace, like I said in this before the race. I think Tim has got pace to prove here, especially after not completing his final run and having a great second run here. But I think just proves to have a lot of good pace here and definitely able to use that. But he doesn't need to overdrive the car, otherwise he is gonna get warnings and then penalties afterwards.
The DRA driver spins again. Oh my gosh, it's a horrendous race for the DRA guys.
Agreed, indeed, with Job Lamus now spinning. This promotes Power already up to P12, so he was at the back of the grid. But after lap 3, he is already in P12 and catching up to his teammate Perka, who undoubtedly will just let him through if I need to make a prediction, which allows him to go into the back of Steven, Seep and Mark here. So Para was doing a good comeback race here, despite a glitch in the game. So good job for him so far.
Tim is looking really close to Erpek, but gets it all wrong into that chicane. Now going with the DRS, it looks like. Will he try and go for a move on
Indeed
Erpek?
he will.
Erpek.
And he takes the lead.
And he takes the lead.
Out of Erpek now, so using a bit of ERS. But can he now prove that he has got more pace than Erpek and just create a second gap here? I've got Stevens, I'm pretty sure, spun in turn 1. He indeed has now, moving behind Adakov without a setup, so it's going to be quite difficult for him. But he's now down to P13, so now the lead medium runner will be Perka. As now Stevens has overtaken him again. Stevens has overtaken Adakov again. With Mike spinning now in sector 1, he's got damage. Yes, the right side end plate is gone from Mike. He's on the soft tires, so I'm guessing he will pit for the hard tires. Wait, now Tim only half a second ahead, so Erpek just proves that he has got the same pace pretty much as Tim and just wants to save ERS. With Mike spinning again, so quite a difficult race for him. But not a surprise here, just a massive DRS train from 1st to 9th, all within like a second of each other. So just DRS training each other along, with Perka 2 seconds behind C, but over a couple of laps time we will have the soft runners just running out of tires at some point and getting the mediums back into play. But what Perka doesn't want is a safety car for them soft runners to get a free pit stop, and then Perka need to make a pit stop as well. Let's now start off lap 5 here with Tim still in the lead, Jeroen closing up slowly, Victor also just following behind with a lovely livery, I must say, with now Nipro spinning. Nipro has spun here. Now moving down to P10, so unfortunately he just lost the car on the curb, I'm guessing. And then just, of course, tire temps go up and taking a slower approach here. But now move behind Perka, now in P10. This does promote JR, Mark and Seep up 1 place, so that's good. And then Rudy Gullit in P5 as well. All of them still in the DRS train. Actually, Mark has dropped a second behind nearly of JR, who's in P6. So Mark is struggling with some pace, with Seep 4 tenths behind. So Seep, can he make a move past Mark here? So Seep can push along to JR. Another set of yellow flags.
Lucar spins again.
Just going nowhere in this race so far, picking up damage once again, about to be lap after 5 laps, which is not what you want. Going into the pit and spinning once again.
Ooh, Lucar spins.
I'm not sure what he's doing. I'm not sure what he's doing.
This looks quite illegal.
I mean, he's just burning out his tires. Nipro's now into the pits. Lucar, I'm not sure what he's doing, but this is something that the stewards might have to look at.
Will Lucar retire from the session?
I don't get what he's actually doing. We've got Nipro into the pits, but he's got the same box as Lucar. So Nipro's race has been screwed entirely here. Have to make an earlier pit stop. I've got an LFR driver spinning, it's Arkov. But Nipro has really been screwed over here by Lucar's antics here in the pit, so this could definitely be a penalty for Lucar here. As now Nipro has got a big task to catch up once again.
Oh my gosh! Stevens just goes straight into the wall. Oh my gosh, what a horrendous crash.
And this brings out the safety car. So Lucar has gone off track again. I'm not sure what is going on with this car, but not proving to be doing quite well. But the safety car is out right now, so this will give an opportunity to Marty Nipro to catch up once again. But something that Perka didn't want is a safety car around this stage. and it has come out, so guessing all of those guys will box now for a set of hard tires till the end of the Grand Prix. And indeed, we see everyone
Here come the
going
cavalry into the pits.
into the pits. Mark, Seep, Parpurka is staying out. Yeah, Parpurka staying out, so going on an alternative strategy. Actually, we have guys going on medium tires.
Is staying out the best option, really, though?
Is that the best option? I think it could survive with both the IRT drivers getting 5-second penalties for speeding, so their race is going from bad to worse, especially with even with the safety car coming out. This is not ideal, as these guys will go to the end of the Grand Prix, but with them on 5-second penalties, just not being able to be removed probably. But let's see how it ends up with indeed Luculor retiring in the pit. I'm not sure what happened to him, but his race looked interesting with now Nipro going off in the final turn, going into the pits once again. But of course with the safety car come out, he can catch up. I'm not sure why he would retire right now with the safety car out. But let's see what he does. He's going for probably
I think the War drivers pitting for mediums.
Apparently, interestingly, update up front, Victor has actually jumped Jeroen here. So Jeroen was actually in a lead third place, but lost a place to Victor. So that's one place he needs to gain again for the win. And with the guys having pretty much the same pace, it's gonna be very tough for them to make the move past here. Tim did a very good job there with just overtaking, and then of course being kind of lucky with the safety car coming out, but he was in the lead. Yeah, he has got the pace, so let's see what's gonna happen here. And this is actually also good for Pyro, as he's got I think he's got very strong pace here, and just able to now close up to the back of the field and able to show what he can do now without any glitches here, hopefully. And now able to be in the DRS train. Seep still behind Mark here. Mark here hopefully having better pace on the medium tires. I think pretty much everyone's going indeed for a set of mediums.
We have to watch out for Adakov, is it? The LFR driver in P11 on the hard tires. I think he's going to stay out for the race, so we have to keep an eye on him, because all these medium runners will have to pit again. So this could be a mastermind play from the LFR boys.
Well,
but he will struggle.
Potentially, I think Adakov with a stock setup. As Pyro has gone off track. But I think the mediums will just about make it. But Adakov is gambling on the guys ahead running out of tires. So Adakov is hoping for that, and of course he did start off set of mediums, so he didn't really have a choice to make. But let's see how this strategy is gonna pan out. I think the mediums will make it for sure, but let's see. I think we will see more elbows out on the restart, of course, with guys not going into the pits anymore, just getting the elbows out more to get positions. But that's a big risk as well, as we're gonna us guys want to score consistent points, and if you're gonna go for a move for podium potentially and crash out, you're gonna lose all your points. As we've got Rust UK and having a little scramble right here. I'm not sure what's happening here. Both DRA drivers with 5-second penalty, so at the moment they will move behind Nipro. Nipro kinda very unlucky, but lucky that the safety car came out right now.
I think safety car should come in this lap.
I think it will. I think it will indeed, Tony. I think it should do, as the field has bunched up. It will be a late release if it does happen, but I don't expect it to stay out.
Safety car in this lap. Looks like we're getting racing.
It's race time apparently. With a late restart, we're gonna see how the drivers have warmed up their tires.
What will
Parapurka being
do?
leader of the field. Let's see how he's gonna take his exit. He can wait until the line, but
And
he
he
doesn't,
goes.
and he is gone quite quickly here with Tim using a bit
Tim
of
under pressure
ERS,
from Urpek.
trying to stay ahead of Urpek, defending the inside turn right here. Urpek just defending here. Tim is nearly at the back of Parapurka, going for the move already, but thinking better of it right now. In front of the S section, as Urpek's actually lagged. Oh, he's lagged. He's nearly moved behind Victor here. But he stayed in P3 with some lag issues. But all the guys following close behind now. Here. Who is daring to make that move? To move up a position? Who is gonna try to move up any positions? And who's gonna push the hardest and potentially get a 3-second penalty? You never know here in this league. So let's see
I think
how it's gonna
Jerome
pan
could
out.
be a dark horse in
As
this race.
Mark
It
has
seems
gone
like
for the
he's
move against JR here on the exit, using ERS here. What can the Renaissance driver do against JR here? Go towards Spoon curve here. They nearly make contact here, and Mark has to slot behind still. But this does give the opportunity to Seep to move ahead of Mark. And with Pyro also ready to pounce here, it's a very dangerous game the guys are playing.
Nipro gets a 3-second penalty.
First of
Pyro looking for a move, but thinks better of it.
I have to cut you over quickly here, as Tim has taken the lead, has overtaken Parapurka. So Urpek wants to get past Parapurka as quickly as possible. And then Victor
Tim
also
needs to
close
use
behind.
this opportunity. He needs to use this opportunity, Tim, and pull away as much as possible
Definitely,
from
as
Urpek.
Urpek has not moved ahead, so this is a big opportunity for Tim to move a second ahead. As
Urpek
actually
passes
Urpek's
him.
overtaken him. And with Parapurka and making contact with Victor here, going around the outside.
Oh,
What a move there from
what a move!
Victor.
That's some Alex Albon like round the outside montage rubbish.
Indeed, but what a move there from Victor here. In the S section, you never see those type of moves at all. And now Jeroen is the next one to line up Parapurka, going down the inside here in the hairpin. Great move there, quite standard as well. And Ruud Gullit has spun. Yes, Ruud Gullit has indeed spun. So he lost position. And Mark actually, watching on ball with Mark. Mark has lost 2 positions to Seep and Pyro. So Seep is now the next one to line up JR. And JR is the next one to line up Parapurka. So not a great restart there for Mark. And both DRA drivers now into the points, but they do have those 5-second penalties. So this can promote Arakov and Marty up into the points potentially. But let's see, DRS train is well and alive once again, with Urpek setting the fast lap here with a 31-0 here.
I feel like this could be a very good battle for the lead once DRS is being used. Oh, and Tim slightly loses the car.
Indeed, indeed.
Urpek could be a thorn in the Evora driver's side, along with Victor.
Alex,
because
indeed,
Victor's right
there was
behind him.
indeed a safety car. So we have got Parapurka on older mediums and the rest of the grid on mediums, apart from Arakov. Also got Marty has spun. Marty is retired from the race, unfortunately. Will this be a second safety car? It will be indeed. A second safety car restart, and this gives the opportunity for Parapurka to potentially make another pit stop here. Marty, unfortunately, with a retirement. Shame for him, of course. But what does this do with the rest of the grid? Does this give the opportunity for DRA to serve their 5-second penalties and go for another set of mediums here? We're not sure what they're going to do, but this does give them a big opportunity to serve those 5-second penalties. And
If I was
Parapurka,
Parker, I'd pit. He's on 10-lap old tyres and he's getting eaten up by the rest of the field. I feel like he should pit.
I mean,
but he will struggle in those hard set.
I mean, I'm not sure how many safety cars it will bring out, of course. So I think this is a good opportunity for him to pit. And he indeed does
pits.
pit. So good prediction from you right there, Donny. didn't speed, and guessing he's going for a set of he's actually going for a set of soft tires, so he's going for 16 laps on those soft tires. Adakov in the pits as well, so that does promote him up one place.
Bold strategy from Paraperka. Softs on this
Indeed.
game last not even 10 laps. So this is really pushing it.
Well, does he know something we don't? Let's see. Adakov got a set of medium, so he's scrapped those hard tires. That's actually my nose and my throat. It's kind of annoying right now. Just not feeling ideal right now. Have been ill the last couple of weeks, but slowly recovering right now. So if my nose goes kind of annoying or my voice, you know exactly the reason, guys. So, but we do have a safety car, so can kind of relax right now. Now, of course, with the pit stop that Paraperka has made, this promotes JRC, Pyro, Mark, all on one place. Now both DRA drivers into the points. Can they pull 5 seconds clear of Nipro, who has got a 3-second penalty of his own? So that's one advantage they can take. Mike in pits off, so if Mike can stay within the DRS train, then he could potentially score points, but Ruud Gullit, Paraperka behind are very quick drivers, so it's going to be difficult for them. As you have got Peace, a relentless driver supporting NRL here, so Donny, what do you think of that one?
That's it's an interesting part of the spectrum, but each to their own, I suppose, and as long as we get good racing, I don't really care.
Indeed. But P or Jaff, if you're watching, I wouldn't accept this. So I recommend you sending Peace towards IRT, alright? I mean, it's not a bad move. Which actually, we've got Mike into the pits. We've got Mike going to make a pit stop, and he is going for a set of soft tires. So,
do these guys know something we don't? I don't understand why is everyone like them two pitting for softs.
With Mike going for a set of soft tires and being near the back of the grid anyway, he is now on a set. He's now on fresher tires than Paraperka, and he's gonna catch up to the field and the guys ahead of penalties. So this might not be a bad shot. Also, Urbex losing positions here. Urbex now down to P4, so he was in P2, but he has lost.
If you look at his tires, it looks like gravel stains. So I think he took a trip into the gravel quickly.
He has taken a trip to the gravel, so I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he has now lost 2 positions to Victor and Jeroen. So Jeroen now back up to P3 and Victor now up to P2. So can he prove the pace to beat Tim potentially for Evora or against Evora?
Is the NLR driver feeling pressure maybe towards this win? Because
I've got Job Lammers now making a mistake, so he was in the points, but now having made a mistake promotes Ruud Gullit, Paraperka, Adakov and Mike all on one place, so disaster for Job. Apparently we're having L Plan calls in the chat right now, so L Plan coming out here. L Plan for the wheel is Esports Wheels team.
Safety car in this lap, it looks like we're getting some racing. Now, what will Tim do on the safety car restart? He's warming up his tyres, as we can see. Can the Evora driver turn this into a win, or will he fumble at the last minute? We have Victor right behind him, applying pressure, but let's see when he can go for the restart.
Let's see, as he's taking a very slow approach here. Is Victor gonna get caught napping here? I don't think he will. As he's now gone here across the line. What can Victor do? Victor is using his ERS. Same for Jeroen and Urbeck, who's pretty much alongside him, but thinking better of it. Victor nearly running wide, but still keeping the position here. So it's still on right here for the battle for first place. As we've now got a spinner, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's Job once again, his third spin of the race. As Tim nearly hit that inside, curve and nearly spun there. You know what? I'm not sure how he has done that. He did the same in qualifying, hitting those curves. If I would have done it, I would have guaranteed to have spun out. But he has survived so far, so good job from him.
He just has a good gamemanship.
Indeed. As JR is now in the battle with Seep. Seep trying to move another place forward and catch up to the top 4 guys. As Seep nearly lost the car there with Pyro following close behind. Both controller users here in P6, P7. So good job from them. It's a very difficult track to get right on the controller, but if you do nail it, it's a very satisfying feeling. But they're doing a good job so far with Mark in P8.
Going defensive into the corner.
Pyro knows how to back out for once, so that's a good job. But Adakov has got a 3-second penalty. As Pyro is catching up, Tim's taking the fast lap, so proving that he just got very good pace here. Need again, as Pyro just doesn't go for the move. So this guy has learned indeed just not go for every move he can. So
it looks like Parker is stuck in a train because he can't seem to get past anyone.
Indeed.
But Ruti Gillett gets a bit squirmy into the corner, so he's getting a bit closer to him.
He is behind Rust UK for DRA as Nipro nearly looked for the move. But Rust UK is staying within the DRS of Mark, so it's just very difficult for Parker to move forward. You saw yesterday in the actual Grand Prix around Imola that Hamilton just had so much difficulty getting past Gasly, who was in the DRS of Albon. So the DRS trains are in real life now as well in the game, of course. So it's just very difficult once you're in the DRS train to get past here. And Imola certainly isn't an easy track to overtake once you're in the DRS train. And just this track just proves as well, it's very difficult to overtake it. But we did see some nice overtakes here, with especially the highlight must be Victor here in the S's, which I wouldn't recommend to doing so. As Ruti moving around the outside of Nipro and making the move stick actually. Is he? No, unfortunately he isn't.
Oh no, he doesn't. Ruti Gillett won't let this up.
As
and
now
he's
they're nearly
trying to go
going
around
too
the
wide.
outside. Can he do it?
Can he do it? No, he
No,
won't.
he
Very
doesn't.
difficult. Papirka trying to make it stick, making contact both drivers, but not surviving for the moment. Moving ahead now, Rust UK nearly losing DRS to Mark. So this could be a big opportunity for Nipro to move ahead. DRS is enabled right now, so this could prove more overtakes here, especially on the main straight. I think, the main straight is DRS zone. It's the only DRS zone on this track, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I think it's Japan and Monaco, along with Imola's the only track on the calendar, really.
Sorry to interrupt here. We've got Parapurka here, but has spun unfortunately. So move behind Mike, who is really struggling as well. 3 seconds behind Arkov here. But go ahead now. Finish your sentence.
Yeah, so I feel like those 3 circuits was the only really circuits with about 1 DRS zone. It's quite rare in the F1 calendar.
Indeed. But maybe before you can No, actually, I can understand why they didn't use DRS before 130R, because if you use DRS and then you have to turn it off before 130R, and then you've got so much speed.
Victor going for a move on Tim, and he does it. Sorry to interrupt there, but that move was a brilliant move from Victor using DRS.
So we were talking so much about DRS that we actually missed the move that Victor made in the lead, and actually Pyro has moved ahead of Seep as well. So can Pyro now make a move work on JR, who is in P5 for the ESW team, Esports Wales team? still in the DRS window of Urpek, who made, of course, a mistake. He must be kicking himself because he was in P2. So if he loses out on the podium, he must be kicking himself.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, actually, I think Victor is a NRL driver. So actually, I think, let me check quickly, because we gotta get our facts correct. So if we go to check-in and check NRL, yeah, NRL, it's Victor is driving for NRL. So actually, NRL are actually the highest scoring points right now. So they're doing a really good job.
You can't count out Tim though, because Tim is saving his ERS and apply. Oh, and Pyro, does Pyro crash or does he just?
He has disconnected. Urpex also disconnected. So let me quickly get them back in. So sorry, there's no stream footage right now. Okay.
The pounds. He's had enough of being behind
Both.
Tim or Urpak.
Alright,
So,
we're back right now with footage here. Both guys have been invited once again to the session. So I'll pull it. So very bad news for them with Urpak now in P7 and Power moving on to P10. But this does promote Seep up to P5. JR actually moving outside the DRS window now with those guys moving out the.
Rush GK has just left the pits, so he's pit for soft tires. Looks like he's going fastest lap.
I'm not sure what happened here with Pyro and Urbeck, but that's just extremely unlucky for Pyro. Pyro just having no luck at all with the safety car or with the start glitch, and then with the disconnect now, just proved to have no luck at all here. But
exactly.
And then his teammate in P15 as well. So CPI just had
Urbeck is disconnected too.
Yeah, Urbeck also disconnected, unfortunately. Both have been re-invited. I did as quickly as possible. As Urbeck's AI is going into the pits, and Pyro's AI is going into the pits as well. Their race is now going from bad to worse.
Finished.
So their race is indeed pretty much finished now. Just incredibly unlucky here. They must hope for crashes now and able to use the clean air, but that's just extremely sour for both of them. That's just, I've got nothing to say. They're just extremely unlucky for both guys. Urbeck just had good pace as well. Pyro made a great comeback, and then yeah, this is unfortunately that Co-Masters has not made the greatest games. Urbeck has disconnected once again. Let me invite him once more, or can you do that? Or let me do that quickly. Sorry for no stream footage once again. Let me invite Urbeck once more, and then yeah, if he disconnects again, then unfortunately it's something to do with his internet, which is,
to honest, must I say myself.
We're just seeing this now. It's actually becoming cloudy, so this could maybe, you never know. It could rain potentially, as Perka picks up a penalty here. Has Pyro taken over the car already? He has.
Oh no, Victor's ERS has almost ran out, so he could be a victim for the next lap.
Good shout there.
Of Tim
with
and
the lights running out. Asip has now overtaken JR here. JR just doesn't have the pace, it seems, of Jeroen.
The IRT driver looks like he has a lot of pace, so can he catch up to the top three boys?
He is quite low on ERS, as Pyro is disconnected once again. Can you potentially re-invite him for us, please? So we've got stream footage. I'm not sure if you've got them added, but just try your best.
I'll try. 1 second.
Yeah. Indeed, Mark in chat, we've done that, so we don't miss any footage right here. Great minds there. Perk has gone into the pits. He has spun, so his race is pretty much done now. But Victor is, I think, his mission now to save fuel or save ERS in general. As Tim is proved to be very dangerous, he does have quite a lot of ERS still. Rain could indeed happen with the clouds coming out. Jeroen has got good pace as well. Seep just proving to pull away from JR. JR just doesn't have the pace. Mark, just despite nothing having the greatest pace, just being very consistent here, staying in the battle. Now in P6 because of people being unlucky, but you have to be there in those places to make an advantage of it, and he certainly has done that so far. As now the timing
I
bolts on
have
board
sent him an invite. So
as now
let's
Tim
see.
has taken the lead once again, having just a lot more ERS. Pyro got signed out of PlayStation apparently, so yeah, just no luck for him. Just he does not deserve that. That just sucks for him. As we actually seen, Mark has moved down a couple of positions behind Rudy Gullit and Nibro. I'm not sure what happened there. We missed it just now, as he was in P6 just a moment ago. Well, Neville.
He gets the 3-second penalty. The IRT driver.
Asip, indeed, good spot there, has picked up a penalty. So this will move him down to P8 right now, if it stays like this. But if he has the pace, then you never know.
Victor looks like he's a victim at this point. Look at Jerome just literally sucking up the gap. He looks like he's struggling with his tires, Victor.
Potentially, but Jeroen is low on ERS, so we thought Jeroen might be having great pace, but he just seems to be struggling on tires or on ERS, as he's actually going down the inside here.
What a
great move down the hairpin. Victor didn't do an Alan Prost, so good job from him. Jeroen did a Senna style overtake here, but now has to defend once again against Victor. Does Victor go down the inside? He doesn't, thinks better of it.
JR gets ahead
and Jeroen
of
now
C
up
once
to
again.
P2. Can he overtake Tim? Advantage for Jeroen is that he can save ERS and go for a move for on the final lap potentially. But he's got to be ready. I think Seep is struggling on tires as he ran by it a couple of times.
Tim 3-second penalty. This is gonna hinder. He's raced big time. Can Victor keep within 3 seconds of Tim?
You could not have said it better here.
Jeroen is now in a net P1. Will he just conserve his tires, or will he try and go for the move on track?
Indeed, indeed. Weirdly, just JR's pace has picked up all of a sudden, as he's closing the gap to Victor here, and Seep's pace is just gone somewhere, I don't know where. They pick up that penalty, but he's nearly losing, as it's actually raining. I'm sorry to say that it's raining with a couple of laps to go here. We can clearly see with onboard of Seep right now, we can see the raindrops falling down here around the Suzuka circuit. And is it falling down hard enough? Is the intermediates coming back into play just like last week? But this race is about to come very spicy here with 5 laps to go here.
5 laps to go. Will the rain be heavy enough? Or will they try and stick it out like JR did?
Indeed,
last race at USA.
Indeed, JR did stay out last week. I don't think it's definitely not raining hard enough right now, but you never know. You never know in a couple of laps time that it could rain hard enough. But from what we see on the Weiser right now, it's not raining hard enough here. As we've got a spinner here, it's Pyro. Oh, it's Parperka. Parperka is actually on the intermediate, so he's pitted way too early here. But we do have to check the track here. Well, actually, hold up. Victor has lost DRS here to Jeroen, so this could be a good opportunity for JR to catch up to Victor here, who seems to be struggling on the tires, like you said a couple of laps ago. So this is Jeroen's race to win right now. And Victor is dropping behind. Mike is actually in P10, made a mistake there. Interestingly, we have to check the track.
Parker has spun on the Inters.
Indeed, it's definitely not Inters. But you do have to check the track if there's puddles starting to appear. So as now
Oh,
Seep has
LFR,
found
Ruti
some pace
Gillett.
again. As Seep has now hit the back of
Oh,
JR.
gets caught by Ruti. Oh gosh.
I'm not sure what happened there, but this proves that Ruud Gullit can potentially
Ruti Gillett
overtake.
looking to go
Ruud
for
Gullit
a
has got
move
no
on Seep.
ERS. Ruud Gullit has got no ERS. Seep. Oh, they're moving so close to each other.
Oh, round the outside. Ruti Gillett,
What
can he
a
do it?
overtake. What a
What a
overtake.
move.
Great move
What a
there from
move.
Ruud Gullit. With Seep now just struggling everywhere. He did the same thing last week where he just struggled in the race. I think his tires are generally... I'm not sure what's happening here. But he just moved down a couple of positions behind
The
Nipro,
DRA drivers are
who's
in
now
the
in
mud at this
P6.
point.
Indeed,
Oh my
Nipro has had a
goodness.
good comeback, but it's raining quite hard right now, so don't surprise if the Inters do come out here, as Perker's Inters just aren't working at all. Mark now ahead of Seep. Seep is actually spun, so Seep is definitely just completely lost the tires. As Perker's retired in the
Is
pits,
retired.
as Seep is just struggling so much. He's like, yeah, he is now about 3
Oh
seconds
gosh,
behind.
someone's crashed in the pits. The DRI driver dropped his whatever his name is.
Job Lammers, he has lost it in the pits, probably gonna retire, but I think it's Inter's time now. I think it's Inter. I see the puddles coming out any moment now. I expect
We have to wait until
Jeroen.
DRS is disabled.
No, but I think it's Inter's right now. It wouldn't surprise me if guys now go into the pits. Victor stays out. Does JR pit? The guys behind have got more time to think. I think it's generally ready for the intermediate. And indeed, we've got Mark coming out. Seep now going into the pit. So it's indeed Inters. You can clearly see on track right now. You see the rain coming out right now. So I think...
Mark
oh,
we've
got a spinner here. JR has hit the back of Ruud Gullit, who is spun. And you can clearly see the track is very red right now. So Mark and Seep might have made the correct decision here. And it's gonna get wetter and wetter here around the Suzuka circuit.
Will the Avora driver and the Relentless driver try and stick it out, or will they need to pit?
I think they
That
have
is
to
the
pit.
question.
I think they have to
Oh
pit.
no, Tim always loses it on the curb.
Because there's still 2 laps to go after this, and it's gonna get wetter and wetter here. And the conditions are just so difficult right now, with Tim and Jeroen just marking here. This is just incredible difficult for the drivers here, and I think Seep and Mark are just gonna gain so much time here. As you can see, look how wet the track is right now.
Oh my gosh! Tim is just like cyber bullying his car into that corner, mate. Now into 130R. Will they pit or will they stay out? I think they might pit.
I'm not sure. They have to pit. Indeed,
And
we
they
see
both
guys
pit.
going into the pit. So Tim has pitted, Jeroen has pitted, Victor has pitted.
Will JR stay out? Oh no, he's learned his lesson.
We've got someone staying out. We've got someone staying out. Nipro staying out. We've got Ruud Gullit and Arkov staying out as well. So we've got 3 runners staying out on the dry tires.
Yeah, New Pro's just done himself dirty at this point. They're gonna. It's too wet.
I mean,
Yeah.
he does have a penalty, so.
I mean, he has nothing to lose, I suppose.
He does have a penalty, so yeah. I mean, I understand he stayed out, but yeah.
Ruud Gillett, the 2 LFR boys have stayed out. DRS disabled.
Indeed,
It's just
indeed.
proving it's getting wetter than
DRS
wetter.
disabled
Yeah.
right now. DRS disabled right now. And he
As
spun.
JR
He has
gets
spun.
past,
Nipro has spun. So Arkov is gonna potentially move ahead now and take the lead. And Ruud Gullit now in a provisional P1 right now. But Tim is only about 5 seconds behind these guys. So it's just so difficult right now on track. As now Tim is gonna overtake Nipro here.
Nipro with the Evora team orders right there.
Indeed, indeed. But LFR now in a 1-2, but I don't think it will be for that long. With Tim now a second behind Ruud Gullit.
The LFR boys was really struggling. Look at the braking difference. Wow.
And you can see how much grip Tim has, and LFR just have to stay out because otherwise you're gonna lose too
These
much time.
LFR boys, what if they could potentially hold up Jerome, but he gets past them anyway. I was gonna say, like, the cars on the slicks could hold up the Inter guys, and Tim could potentially get out.
We've got incredible scenes. Victor has actually hit Arakov here. Arakov has got damage. Victor has hit him. So JR has now moved ahead of both of them up to P4 right now. So, and JR is gonna get a podium here. JR is gonna get a podium here because Ruud Gullit is still ahead. So JR is gonna get that podium here. He wished for last week, and Ruud Gullit's gone.
Ruud Gullit! Oh my gosh!
He's gone everywhere here. And he's hit him now, and he has lost the front wing, hitting JR.
Oh no, another one! Gosh.
And this promotes Seep up to P6. Victor's got damage, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the people that stayed out on the slicks done themselves
Indeed.
a big L.
Indeed.
As Tim looks to try and break out of the the 3-second range, but it can't see. It looks like the relentless driver will take the win. Jerome just keeping within range, and we have another yellow flag. I can guarantee you that's one of the slick runners.
Now Mike is actually on the. Oh, yeah, Mike is on dries actually, so you're correct on that one. But Ruud Gullit
and Tim comes round to win the Japanese Grand Prix on track with the relentless driver of Jerome taking P1, the race win, and JR looking to take up P3 in the Japanese Grand Prix. What a race! What a race!
And LFR drivers... Victor still surviving in P4 despite making contact with Arakov here, so well done to him. And then Mark in P5 and Seep still in P6 despite losing the car. He was actually behind JR, so he must have some different feelings, but I'm certain he will take P6 here. But indeed an ESW podium here. Arakov still survived in P7 here, so good job for him with damage as well. So I'm not sure where he picked that up, but he's done quite well there. Nipro on P8 on dry tires, Ruud Gullit P9, Mike in P10, so double points for ESW. So well done to them. Urpek in P11, just so unlucky there. Unlucky for them.
Poor race for the NLR boys, not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, you could say that, but Urpek got really unlucky, and with Victor still on P4, I think from what it was, they did quite well. And then Rust in P12, and DRA just really the losers. Or Binarl actually, Binarl with P17, P18, really just the losers of the race. As now we see both DRA drivers crossing the line here, so hopefully, yeah, what an absolutely crazy race here. Unbelievable.
That race was astronomically it was a very interesting race, to say the least. Like the Inters coming up at the end really just shook the race up and just showed who was brave and who was not. So, yeah.
Indeed.
As Jerome takes his win for the Relentless guys. When will Relentless get dethroned? Because this is kind of repetitive. I ain't even going to hold you.
Indeed. But yeah, just you have to be there at the right time. And Jeroen, every time is just that driver. So maybe some penalty or some will be reported. But for now, it will be Jeroen taking the win ahead of Tim and JR taking a podium here for ESW. I'm certain a lot of people are happy with that. Victor in P4 for the NRL team. Relentless taking a 1 and 5 still, despite Mark just not having the pace of Jeroen. Still in P5, so he did quite well. C P6. Arkov P7 on the dries, Nipro also on the dries in P8. He did spin, so that proves to be a big difference. Rutgillet P9, Mike in P10, so he did really well there. Urbeck unlucky in P11. Rust Ruke in P12, Rustic, how do you say it? Job Lamers with 3 spins in P13. P14 Pyro, just unluckiest of them all, really. How much unlucky moment he had is unbearable. And then Perka P15. And Marty DNFing P16, Stevens P17, and then Luca Loor just really struggled today in P18. But hopefully everyone enjoyed. Hopefully enjoyed this race. We certainly have. Donny, cheers for joining the commentary box today. You did really well today. It was really enjoyable having you alongside me. And you really helped me out because I had some noise complaints as well. So, I had to be quiet at some points of my home. But yeah. So cheers for joining me today. And we'll see you guys next week once again. And we'll be back for... let me check the calendar quickly. The calendar, we will be back next week for the Hungaroring. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. And we'll see you guys for the next one. Bye guys.
Peace, guys.